What's up, guys? My name is Jerry, and today we're going to be talking about how Evan Mobley is going to take the Cleveland Cavaliers to the next level next season, and we're going to jump right into the video. Now, the 2021 NBA draft class is one of the most stacked draft classes in NBA history. They had multiple guys that could have went number one overall, and Evan Mobley is one of those guys. He ended up going number 3 to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I wouldn't have been surprised if he went number 1 or number 2. But nonetheless, I am so high on Evan Mobley, and I think he has the potential to one day be a top 10, top 5 player in the NBA. And we look at his game, he specializes at so many different things, and I want to start with him on the defensive side of the ball. Evan Mobley stands at 7 feet tall, and he possesses a 7'4" wingspan, and he can do so many different things on the defensive side of the ball. He does a great job of protecting the rim and blocking shots. He is a great low post defender, and what makes him so special on the defensive side of the ball, standing at 7 feet tall, he has the speed and athleticism to guard smaller players, and this makes him a very versatile defender. And when Evan Mobley gets matched up with those smaller guys out on the perimeter, he does a great job of forcing them into bad situations, whether it's forcing them into a turnover or forcing them to take a bad shot. He excels at those things. His speed and athleticism also allows him to be a great pick and roll defender, and he really reminds me of Anthony Davis. Watching Evan Mobley in pick and roll situations on the defensive side of the ball, he does a great job of hedging and helping out on the point guard, and then he's good enough to be able to recover and contest the big at the rim. And when you have a power forward or a center that can do that, it opened up so many different things on the defensive side of the ball. Now, as good as an on-ball and pick-and-roll defender that he is, he's just as good when he's playing help defense or off-the-ball defense. And what I love about Evan Mobley is that he's always engaged. He plays the passing lanes, whether it's breaking up a bounce pass or a lob. And whenever his teammates get beat, he's there at the rim to erase their mistake by blocking the shot or contesting the layup or dunk. So I think Evan Mobley has the skill set to be one of the best defenders of all time. And I promise you guys, I'm not over exaggerating. I think he's that good on defense. Now, Evan Mobley is also a monster on the offensive side of the ball as well, and he's what you would want in the modern day big man. He gives you a little bit of everything. He has that perfect blend of skill and athleticism, does a great job at running the floor to get easy buckets, and he's really great in the half court. Now, he's really good in pick and roll situations as the screener, and he can do so many things out of that. He can catch the ball, pop out, knock down the jump shot. He can roll to the rim, great finisher around the rim. He's also a lob threat, and then also he's skilled enough to catch the ball on the short roll and beat the bigger defender with his agility and his skill. He can put the ball on the floor, he can dribble with both hands, and he can drive the basketball to the rim. He can pull up for a jump shot, and the most underrated part of his offensive game is his ability to be a playmaker. He is a great passer. He's a great passer out of double teams, and his passes are usually on target. So he's a dangerous man as a screener in pick and roll situations, and then he can also score from all 3 levels. He has a smooth jump shot. He has shown the ability to knock down, catch and shoot 3-point jumpers. He can knock down the post fade from the mid-range. He can knock down the catch and shoot from the mid-range, and he can also pull up from the mid-range. And then around the rim, he has an array of post moves. He has a soft hook with both hands. He can drop step you, and then he just has a great touch around the rim. So Evan Mobley is a complete offensive player, and I would say he has crazy potential on both sides of the ball. He could be a crazy defender, and then he could also be one of the scariest big men in the league because he stands at 7 feet tall, but he has the skill set of a wing. So now we know that Evan Mobley has an elite skill set, and he's coming off a great rookie season. He put up 15 points per game to go along with 8 rebounds and 3 assists, and he also shot 51% from the field. So not only was he good statistically, but he also had a great impact on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before they got blindsided with a bunch of injuries and COVID situations, they were one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and they were on pace to win 50 games. So now that he's adjusted to the speed, the level of competition, and the schedule of the NBA, I think Evan Mobley could have a way better statistical year going into next season. And another huge reason I think Evan Mobley will be able to take the Cleveland Cavaliers to that next level next season is that they have the perfect team around him. So we look at the Cavaliers roster, and we got to start with the all-star point guard Darius Garland, and I think him and Evan Mobley are going to be a lethal 1-2 punch for years to come. Their two-man game, the pick and roll, is going to be very hard to stop, because we're talking about two guys that can be dangerous from almost every area on the court. And we look at Darius Garland, who I think is very talented, and if he was a tad bit more aggressive on offense, he could easily average 25 plus points per game. I think he's that talented as a scorer. Looking at him, he gets it done from all 3 levels. He can knock down that 3-point shot. He does it off the catch and off the dribble. He has some deep range. And then my favorite part about Darius Garland's game is the handle that he has on the ball. He has some of the best handles in the NBA. And if you watch his highlights and you watch his ankle breakers, none of his ankle breakers come from him putting a single hand on the defender. It's always him boogieing and putting together a string of dribble moves. So he has that to his bag, and then he's also lethal in the mid-range. And the biggest area that he's improved on as a scorer is easily driving to the rim. He has gotten so much better to that. He's added the floater to his game, the underhand layup. He has the high glass. He makes the acrobatic finishes, and he's just an all-around great scorer. And then also he's a great playmaker, which is great for the big man Evan Mobley. In their first year playing together last season, we saw them connect on so many lobs last season. So I think both of these guys together are going to do a great job of making each other better, and I think they're both going to help each other reach their full potential. And then we look at a guy like Jared Allen, who I think helps Evan Mobley on both sides of the ball. Looking at it on defense, with Jared Allen being the starting center, it allows for Evan Mobley to kind of play that free safety position. He can roam a lot more. He can help rotate, and he can come erase a lot of shots at the rim. And then offensively, with Jared Allen playing at the 5, the opposing team is going to have to put their biggest player on one of those guys, and it's often going to lead to a mismatch for either Jared Allen or Evan Mobley. So I love Jared Allen playing alongside Evan Mobley. The Cleveland Cavaliers also have some high quality role players. They have young guys like Isaac Okoro, who does a great job at playing perimeter defense and slashing to the rim. They have Lauri Markkanen, who did a great job in helping the Cavaliers stretch the floor last season. And then they could potentially be getting Colin Sexton back, and that'll be big time for them to have another guy who can score from the perimeter and create his own shot. And then they have some veteran role players on this team as well, and that's very important for a young team. They have Kevin Love, who had a very solid season last year, and then they had Ricky Rubio returning, and before he went down with his ACL injury, he was playing some great basketball for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But that's really going to be it for this video. Those are all the reasons I think Evan Mobley will be taking the Cleveland Cavaliers to that next level next season. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.